All right, everybody. We're going to be here for about a half an hour. Then we got barbecue. So we're going to try to make heads or tails of the slate. And fortunately or unfortunately, I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my FanDuel as well as my DraftKings. I am playing one kind of big lineup on FanDuel. They have that 222. I'm putting one entry into that. Let me just fire up. Notice that we're live here, and then we'll get started. And fair is fair. Oh wait, did it already? Yeah, it said True DFS is live. Oh, there it is. That's how good these people are. Marking all them. I didn't even know that we had this notification. Awesome. Um, okay, so because I did not get to FanDuel in my preview, I am going to start with FanDuel on this slate, on this stream. Just a couple of announcements though. MMA, it's a 1 p.m. slate tomorrow. Don't miss that. Really, really fun card. A lot of ways you could go. We got two different NASCAR races tomorrow, I believe. I think we have both the Xfinity race and the Truck Series race tomorrow. Let me just confirm that. Yes, that is true. Followed by the NASCAR Cup race on Sunday. I'm starting to be really jonesing for some from League of Legends. I mean, it's got to come soon, right? That summer split. Been waiting for that. Waiting to get some good LOL slates fired up. So golf today. About not the only thing I did right, but I did have my full fade of Colin Morikawa, and I did pronounce that he was going to be the over 9K guy to miss the cut. So that's something. Unfortunately, and also my three core plays, if I'm not mistaken, all made the cut. That would be Connors, Berger, and Keegan Bradley. So hopefully people use those with guys other than Matt Fitzpatrick, who I used a lot of. So I haven't even looked to see what the end results are for what I got going. It does not look very pretty as far as golf is concerned. I probably have a couple of 6 for 6s, but nothing, certainly nothing worth bragging about. I don't think I have any in the top 1,000 in that lottery. I got one in 1,700th, I think. That's my closest, and that one is not even 6 for 6. So it's probably going to get ugly. Probably not a good serious good golf week for me, but that's okay. So let me start with FanDuel, and again, the theme of this evening, as you guys know, is what to do with Coors, right? What to do with a situation where one stack just projects just so much better than everybody else. You know, again, the first thing is that obviously it depends what type of tournament you're playing. If you're playing cash, just play Atlanta, and then you could probably make that work. But if you're playing GPPs, there are a couple of things that you can do with that, right? Number one is you could just fade them. That's certainly possible. The other thing you could do with Colorado is with Atlanta, is you could play Atlanta with non-chalk pitchers, and that's something you can do. Or if you're really subtle and cool, you could play the low-owned guys on Atlanta, which I don't know if there are any, and play the 2-7 or the 3-8 or something like that. But I'm not that good, so I'm gonna do one of the other two things. Either play bad pitchers. I don't say bad pitchers. Play the pitchers that do not rate to be the best plays with Atlanta, or play the good pitchers with non-Atlanta, and it depends on on the site. So first of all, let me just kind of review FanDuel first, who the best plays are. So the best plays pitching wise is Garrett Cole, right? Garrett Cole is the best play, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, by a lot. And pitching wise, I think the second best play is probably paying down for Eovaldi. That would be my assessment. Everything else is pivot, right? You want to pivot off of Cole, you're going to play Burns, right? If you're going to pivot off of, I'll get there, Joanne. If it's a pivot, if you want to pivot off of Eovaldi, you'll do something like, Kikuchi or something like that. So it depends on which way you want to go. And again, it depends on how you want to deal with Atlanta. It's the same type of thing that I discussed earlier. Now, with respect to the hitting on FanDuel, sorry if I got too lyrical in my video earlier with the pivot and the pivot off the pivot and the pivot off the pivot off the pivot, but I was trying to illustrate a point. So the stacks, the way I'm looking at them on FanDuel are as follows. So Atlanta is clearly the best play. I mean, just by a lot. Then what I'm looking at is what's probably clearly the next best play would be Toronto. However, I'm right there, Keenan. And then, so if I'm seeing that, I'm also seeing the ownership is kind of reflecting. And as a matter of fact, just for this one time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my screen. I'll show you what I'm kind of looking at here. So this is my stack page. Okay, let me see. This is like stack page, and I have these guys ranked on the left side just by raw points for now. Okay, and you'll see that I have Atlanta just like way ahead of everybody else. And then I have Toronto kind of next. That's kind of like the natural pivot. And you'll see ownership, they're very similar. It's a similar type of thing. They're the next highest owned of these. So what I would like to do is do something else, right? Is to go down to this next group. That would either be the Philly, Yankees, Angels idea, right? Or go down to this next group, whether that be Dodgers, Colorado, Houston. Okay. The good thing about the Dodgers for now is that, at least for now, I don't know what their lineup is, which is good news, right? So whenever you don't know what the lineup is, it kind of helps. But I'd like to think that against a righty, I'm gonna get a cheap Rios, right? I'll be able to play Freeman. So I'm inclined to play the Dodgers for openers, not even for openers as one of them. But you can make the same type of argument for somebody like Houston or the Angels. I still believe the Yankees are not going to be low owned. I just can't see it. So if I were really rating these, I mean, for real, with leverage and all that stuff and ownership, I would put the Phillies and the Astros and the Dodgers, I think, and the Angels as kind of the pivots off the pivot. One thing though with Toronto, you don't want to neglect the two real sick values over there. That being Teoscar Hernandez and Gurriel, both under 3K. And so you could use two of those, or you could use those as one-offs. And the other one, I think you're getting a 2K flat Calvin Biggio. Now he's a 9-hole, so it's not not that great, but that's pretty strong. Especially if, God forbid, he's actually back to what people thought. I mean, you're gonna be happy that you were be able to play him at 2K. So that's kind of my thoughts on FanDuel. Is I'm probably gonna go play Cole with some of those stacks that are not Atlanta. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'm just curious because I'm not playing MME on FanDuel, but just for the hell of it, let's do that. I'm gonna pull up SaberSim, and I'm gonna run 150 lineups from on FanDuel using SaberSim, using my most recent projections here, and I want to see what we get. I am gonna be shocked if we do not get like 100% Atlanta. I just think that's what's going to happen, and I haven't done it yet. But let's build 150 lineups, and we'll give a big pool size. We can let it roll a little bit, and we'll build it for 150 max. Let's only build 500, and we'll just go. I'm really of the belief that if we let this to SaberSim, even though SaberSim is kind of designed to do some ownership fade, I just feel as though that the projection advantage to the Atlanta is just so strong that that's what it's going to come up with. Which means, I mean, to me, this is not the greatest, as I like to call SaberSim slate. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it's my experience. Whenever you get these big chalk SaberSim builds, when the projections are just that much higher, it's just a tough slate to use this type of optimizer for. And I don't know if they would agree with that, but I don't care. So let's just see. Yeah, I mean, you can see right away. Actually, it's not that bad. Look at this. This is not that bad. In 150 lineups, you only get 80% Atlanta. I was expecting worse. I was expecting 100%, including 75% of the four-mans going to Atlanta. Interestingly, you're getting a bunch of Arizona in the SaberSim builds, which I'm not seeing much at all. And what is it going to give you? 100% coal? Let's see. Not 100%, but what kind of coal is it giving you? No, it's actually giving only 30% coal. Because it wants you to pay down for Evaldi to get to all these Atlantas, which makes sense. And or even Caprillion. So yeah, so this makes sense for what SaberSim would kind of get to. So that's the deal with FanDuel. With DraftKings, I have it a little bit different. Yeah, Michael Harris, all these guys from Atlanta are all in play, and they're all chalk. I don't think there's a single one that is not going to be chalk. What I find more interesting, honestly, is the pitching situation on DraftKings. All right. First of all, I would be remiss not to point out that Orlando Arcia is 2K for Atlanta. I mean, so you have Cole and Evaldi have maintained, like, this ownership has kind of maintained itself, at least as far as I'm concerned, throughout the day. And this is what it is, right? So you have Cole as the best play, and then the natural, the obvious pivots being McClanahan and Burns, right? So, it's a question of how, I want to say crazy, but what kind of tournament you want to play and who you want to play. Like, for me, there's two ways, and this is what I said earlier in the video, I stand by this. There's two ways to play Atlanta. One of them is to play Cole with a cheapo that is not highly owned. Okay. And the other is to just fade Cole. I don't think there's a lot of, this is just me, I don't see any reason to go to McClanahan and Burns. That's the way I'm looking. And I also don't feel as though that Evaldi's the greatest play at 8K at high ownership if you're going to play Atlanta. What I'm going to be doing is fishing for all these other guys. So I'm going to get Cole. I'm going to get Evaldi. I'm probably going to have zero McClanahan. I'm probably going to have zero Burns. I'm going to fish around with Kikuchi. I'm going to fish around with Eflin. I'm going to fish around with Caprillion, and I'm going to fish around with Gilbert. That's just kind of what I'm doing. That with the full knowledge that they're not the best plays, but I'm going to be doing that to get to Atlanta in my Atlanta builds, right? Now, in my non-Atlantas, then I could go ahead and play Cole. I could play Cole with Evaldi. I could do whatever. Anything that you do without Atlanta is fine, okay? as far as pitching goes. So to give you an idea, so let's go through the stacks, and then I'll tell you exactly what I did. So the way the stacks kind of roll out here, and then I'll do the SaberSim thing. I'll do the same thing. The way the stacks roll out here on DraftKings, it's very similar, right? So if you rate these first by raw, you'll get Atlanta, you're light years ahead. Same thing. Then you get Toronto, and then same thing, Philly, Yankees, Angels, Astros, Dodgers, Colorado, Cleveland. Like all of these, to me, are good pivots off of Toronto, which is a natural pivot off of Atlanta. And I also, as I believe, I think the Yankees are going to be higher owned than the people are letting on. So I think that the pivot off of all this is going to be Philly, Angels, Astros, that kind of stuff. Okay. Even Seattle, and look at Seattle's ownership, that what I like to do here is also to put to rank these. I also rank them by modified value. I'm not going to go just by points per dollar, but I'll go modified value, and I'll see if there's anything that stands out. And one thing I noticed is Cleveland really just kind of stands out here as well. So Cleveland, I'll give a little bit of extra bump in my rankings and my ownerships. And you also get a little bit of Pittsburgh, and listen, you could do worse than have some Cole Eovaldi chalk builds, and then have these Pittsburghs. I mean, who's really playing Tucupita Marcano tonight? Probably only dumb people like me, I guess. So again, in GPPs, that's what I think is forced. I mean, again, so Atlanta with non-Coles, Atlanta with non-Burns, Atlanta with non-McClanahans. I would even say non-Eovaldis. I would really fade every chalk pitcher in that variation. If anything, if I had to pick one of those chalks, I would actually go all the way chalk and play Cole with kind of the lower owned cheapos. That's just my opinion. Let me first do a SaberSim build, or I'll do a SaberSim build first, and then I'm going to reset. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go to here. I'll do a SaberSim build first, and then I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I did, which is not exactly what probably should do. Oh, actually, I'm not going to reset. I'm going to do a whole new. I want to reset exposures because I didn't fiddle around. So hold on. Let's do it all the way back from the beginning. So let's reset the players. Reset everything. Let's re-upload everything. This is cool. There's no rain tonight. It's crazy, right? I don't think there's rain. With that said, there's probably going to be some COVID stoppage or something. All right, so let's just build here 150 lineups, and let's see what we come up with. And again, I'm very confident that even with 150 lineups, even with setting for 150, I think you're just going to get a whole heaping pile of Atlanta. But let's just take a look. So I imagine it's going to be. I'm going to predict it's going to be Cole Eovaldi and maybe the Atlanta Cheapos. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. Let's see. What do you think? People that have done SaberSim before. What do you think? I think that's what's going to happen. Or maybe like a Cole Caprillion with Atlanta's might be the big build. Let's take a look. All right. So just straight, but like this. First of all, team-wise, only 94% Atlanta. That's what you'd be getting if you play the SaberSim 150. 94% Atlanta. And then, as you know, as is common to FanDuel, Arizona again showed up to be the second best, and in Cleveland. So yeah, you're right, Rody. Arizona is showing up. As grading out, as you say, grading out decently. Let me see what kind of build you get with the pitching. Yep, you're getting 98.7% of Cole. So even if you go ahead and play and put SaberSim in and ask for ownership fade and all that stuff, you're still getting all this Atlanta and all this Cole. Which what that means, by the way, is that these are all just super duper strong plays, and if you fade them, you're fading them knowing that you're taking the worst of it, but you're just hoping that the leverage and the ownership thing you get is going to be worth it. So, well, I can't show you. So this is the way I kind of fiddled with it, right? Can't show you the actual exposures I end up. Yeah, I guess I could. So what I ended up doing is I just forced in like more Gilbert and forced in more Kikuchi and forced out more Cole and forced out more Atlanta, and I use Saberson to help me build. But what I ended up getting was a decent amount of lineups with kind of weird punty situations. So, like for example, like Gilbert Kikuchi together. I mean, you play that, for example. I mean, that's something you could do. I get, and then a whole bunch of Gilbert in general. And then as far as the hitting goes, I'm getting a bunch of Cleveland, which certainly makes sense. Getting a bunch of Eflin. Yeah, the Cleveland exposure is what really annoys me. Oh, I'm getting Robinson Cano, who's scratched, so I have to fix that, actually. That is one thing I have to remember to do. And that's kind of what I did, So it's important because I'm using the tools available to me, but I'm also using my own, my own work to kind of make the tools do what I need them to do. And that's not exactly I don't say proper use of them, you know what I mean? But it is what I like to do sometimes, especially on a card like this where you have, one team just rated so far ahead that no matter what I do, it's going to just get me 100% Atlanta. I'll just go ahead and just force them out. So I'm going to get some questions in a second, but before I do that, there's a couple of things I have to do. I have to take out Robinson Cano of the two lineups I have him in. And he was 2K, so that who I'm going to replace him with. You get the Arcia, right? Or is he not? Oh, he's not second base. Sorry about that. You could play. You get Tony Kemp leading off at 2,600 to get some leverage against what's his name? Against Eovaldi. That certainly makes some sense. So let me just take him out. Hold on. I'm going to take out, and for now, I'm going to do that. I'll put Kemp in over here, and then we'll take that KC catcher out, replace him with I'll tell you the other guy, by the way, who I'm a little annoyed that I don't have any of is it's Musgrove. Right? I don't know. I'm just not getting any of him. Okay, so that's Cano. Let me just make sure I've done him. And the other guy, this Van Meter, he's not even, I don't even know if he's playing yet. So I'm going to take him out for now. And then if he's playing, I'll put him back in. But you could play. You could play, yeah, I don't really like the Odor, by the way. Somebody asked me about that. I'll tell you who could swing the bat, by the way, is this guy on Tampa, this Brujan. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to play him, but this guy can swing. That I promise you. I don't know how much that really matters, but guy can definitely swing the bat. Let me see. One more Van Meter. Get him out, then I'll take some questions, and then I'll probably get out of here. Put more Renigfo in. All right. All right, so it looks like there's no questions. Let me just also see what the other slates are. So NHL tonight, you do have a 2-game slate, don't you? Should I put that in? Let me see. No, I missed it. I mean, I just can't do it. It's like 1K to first. I'm not doing that. And I honestly don't have time to do the showdown. And the showdown is already, well, it's 10K for first. Should I put that in? Get to watch the Ranger game. Nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. So there's going to be no hockey tonight. I miss all these other sports, by the way. Oh yeah, so you've been playing this guy, Bruhan? I know. I saw him last night. Just crushed it. Just had a big. I feel like one of those scouts from Moneyball, where you act like an idiot saying, "Ball just flies off the bat, crack off the bat, or whatever it is." Peyton, you're getting a lot of Houston. I don't blame you. I mean, this is what I would say, Peyton, is that if you're getting a lot of Houston, just go with it. Just accept it. By the way, I don't know if anybody's going to the World Series, so I have I got it's so funny. I have people still ask, do I still back people? Remember, I used to back like so many freaking people. I mean, I just literally have 2 guys that I have. Actually, I have one guy. I can't really tell you who it is, but I got one guy, and then only I basically force myself to have action because I just always want at least somebody in the main event. So I put him in some other stuff too. And then I got just for old time's sake, I bought a package. I bought some of Efro, who I used to back all the time, and I love that kid. So I bought some of him. So I got Efro and this other guy. There was another thing I was going to mention. Yeah, so Justin, we're probably going to do something with PXF actually. I don't know exactly what, but Scott is putting up some PXF videos, and we're gonna do something with a PXF True DFS co-marketing something or other. I don't know. That'll be fun though. We'll see what happens. Anything else? Hey, look, watch for the. I'll put up MMA. I'll put up updated MMA projections by the end of the night. I'm definitely gonna be putting up Showdown for golf on Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna put them up for tomorrow. If I do, I will let everybody know. All of NASCAR will be covered for sure, and NBA. Any Chichi Gonzalez on DraftKings? No. I just that's the best I could describe it. Just no. I'm just not getting that. And for whoever was on there earlier today, saying that he wanted to play Chad Cool. I mean, hey, this is America. Play wherever. What's the guy from Blender, right? It's play wherever you want. I mean, you can certainly. Not for me. And that'll do it. So, have a good Friday night. Somebody take some shit down. That was really awkward, wasn't it? Anyway, hopefully somebody wins something, and I'll catch up to you guys later.